Hello, you are on mute. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Children of the Most High / the Roxy shows / Shannon and Roxy and Shannon. Roxy for
Everything.
president.
It's just alphabetical. That's all. Hey, everybody. We're back.
Like the million titled show has now begun.
We keep transforming. It's still us. We ain't going nowhere. Sue, we
which
popped into your feed. We got a new listener. Sue's with us tonight. What?
which by the way, that song you heard is an original by moi. It is called An Angel's Prayer. And if there are any of you guys out there who add cool beats and stuff, maybe without AI, out there who want to add some cool bumping beats to that song for us, we could shorten it up, make it a little cooler. I would appreciate it. Hit us up. Thanks.
She's on it today, everybody. She's on it. She's on it. We have a new listener in the house, Sue. Welcome, Sue. We hope you enjoyed being with us. We are one, well, she's that way. One perimenopausal woman, one menopausal woman taking on the world.
Roxy for president.
Shannon for VP. That's the way it goes. Puff, puff, pass. That's the way our show goes. We want everybody to be in a good mood. In the house, we got Dawn. I know Miss Kay's in here. Diane and Biggie. Biggie is back in the house. Glad to see you, buddy. We've missed you. Been worried about you. Whether you're all right or not, we still worry about you if we don't see you. We get used to the regulars that come every week, and if you go missing, we start hunting you. We hunted him down to Discord. He said he was taking a break.
Because speaking of, this is one of the reasons we check in and worry, because we know all of our listeners are probably on that TI list, just like the rest of us. And there's a lot going on to try and get at us lately, which I just want to let you know that keeping yourself covered in the blood of Jesus every day to keep protected from all of this new frequency technology, it would be a very smart thing. I have just recently come to find out that one of the content creators, I can
Get
speak,
it
I
out.
promise. One
Get
of the
it out.
content creators that I've been watching for several years. He's a brother in Christ, and his name is Pedro V. He has come out to talk about a little bit of his experience. He has more to come. He hasn't been on in a while, but he has experienced a major TI episode and ended up on the news and all kinds of fun stuff. So keep yourself protected, and I say this to a lot of you content providers out there who are working in the kingdom of Jesus Christ, who are giving the glory to Jesus Christ, who are saving the souls in the name of Jesus Christ. Keep yourself covered, because they love to hang out and mess with us folk. So just letting
I
you
think they
know it
take
can
it as a
happen to
personal
you.
hobby sometimes. Like
Wait, what?
I think they take it as a personal hobby to go after some of us
Oh,
sometimes.
for sure. Don't
Uh-uh.
mind my big giant soda. I need it.
I'm sipping on a Mountain Dew because I ain't made no tea today. Hope everybody's had a good Tuesday. Pedro went missing before, and I, of all people, went looking for him and found him.
Hmm.
Hey, Kent. Um, we got a couple of subjects tonight. We were trying to give everybody some little time to get in the room. We didn't have a show last Thursday night. I think we both had all kinds of craziness going on. We're trying to do a couple of shows a week, but life's been crazy lately, and I decided I was going to go camp in nature for the weekend, which was fantastic. Slept in a hammock under the stars with no tent. The only thing is the mosquitoes eat me up, and I look like I've been, well, you can't see it. I look like I've been in a war with a small animal from the mosquito bites.
the best thing, right? This lady sends me a video, and I know she's camping in like the middle of nowhere, and it's like this like awesome little jam band concert, and I was like, "What? You guys just have like random pop up jam bands in the middle of a campground?" And she's like, "No, they're always scheduled every weekend." And I was like,
It's a whole
"Oh,
thing. You go up
because
to
it
this
was."
camp. Well, you go up to this campground and it's like a whole weekend thing, and it's family friendly. On Saturdays they have this big flotilla. You get in floats and you go floating down the Lumber River, and then that night they have a band and a dance and food trucks. It's a whole thing at the campground. We had a ball. Nature. No cell phones. We very rarely touched. Even if we didn't have anything to do, we left them laying on a table and just enjoyed nature for a few days. It was awesome. Hey Diana.
I still am on my phone, so I cannot read comments really. I do apologize.
Don't be touching buttons or
I
you break
won't.
something.
I
Everybody
promise.
see my new sign behind me?
I
I've
can't
had the
read it.
Evaluation Center for Disturbed Women. I got it hung on the wall.
I like that.
This used to hang on my front porch at the last place I stayed at. I personally wanted to put it out beside the road, but my daughter says that there would be all kind of men dropping their wives off at my driveway, and I can't feed them all.
Yeah, that may not be a good idea.
No, we may be a drop off spot,
Yeah.
but
Well,
this explains me perfectly right back here.
well, while she got to go gallivanting in the wilderness, I got to do wedding planning stuff and to uh, keep it or check in on a cousin who needs a lot of prayers right now. If I could ask for one little prayer for my family right now, I would super appreciate it. But especially Heather, my cousin Heather. I love her so very much. I'm not going to go into it because I don't need to spread her personal life. But she is in a very dark place and she doesn't have the will to live. And she is slowly taking herself out. And I pray for her every day. So if you could just say a little prayer for my little broken family that we're trying to mend, that'd be awesome.
Well, while we're waiting on a few, which I know Shannon does. Do you guys know who Joe Fells is? I don't know if you do or not. I ran across this guy. I think it was TikTok where I found him. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up. You'll know if you've seen him or not. He was an American and he moved overseas to Costa Rica. And this is his page. That's his girlfriend right there, his wife. But this is Joe. Joe, I think his parents were missionaries or a preacher. You know, he's read the Bible since he was little. He's like us. He's awake, and he moved to Costa Rica to live a different life. And then there were these artifacts that were found. These people in Costa Rica were digging up these artifacts, and he started showing them. And he's showing people how to do solar energy and work off the land. He's dead. We found out yesterday online that he had passed. The rumor is
I'm
that it
just
was suicide.
You know what's
Hmm.
interesting? Because isn't he the one who also was trying to make all of his artifact, like biblical artifacts, into, or am I thinking somebody else? Into like
He was the one
actual
that had found,
PDFs.
yeah, he's the one. Well, he had found a bunch of old Bibles and was getting other people to get together to get all these Bibles and
Yeah.
get them scanned.
Yeah,
And
that is him.
yeah, that's
See?
him.
Oh,
This is
I'm
something
telling.
that was found in Costa Rica. There's a buttload of these artifacts. This thing right here has been x-rayed. This is one piece of stone, but it has wires inside of it, copper wires. And when you take this piece off, the light goes out. When you set it back on it, the light comes on. Oh, it's going to shift videos. See, there's another one. They're showing them. But he had some really cool information on his channel. Um, I don't know what went on. I know he'd come back to the U.S. for some things. There was a divorce and kids. I mean, I don't know. The rumor is we've heard that it was possibly suicide. I don't know. His girlfriend put out a statement for everybody to refrain from until the family dealt with what they had to deal with, and then she'd make a statement. And we need to respect that. I do, because Joe seemed like a pretty
Oh,
straightforward kind of
100%.
guy. He was like us. He was just tired of the system and wanted out. He was tired of the rat race. And so, want to say a word for Joe. Seemed to be a good guy. Don't know. Didn't know him personally. He
I,
invited people down to Costa Rica to go live with him and learn that lifestyle. But let us get started now that we've said something for Joe. Keep Joe's family in your prayers and everybody else that has lost their life in the line of telling the truth. There's quite a few out
amen
there.
to that. A lot. A
A
lot.
lot.
There's, I
Um,
don't know if you knew who Munder was.
mm-mm.
Something Munder. I can't remember his name. But anyways, he was out there and he had some very interesting video proof of being a TI and other stuff. He was very outspoken in the Christian and truth telling community. And he ended up in a mysterious car accident in LA. There's others too. I can't remember everyone's names, but I've kept track of these people over the last 13 years. I've noticed how many have perished. The Dizdar family, the husband and wife, Russ Dizdar and his wife, and they've been out there. They did a lot of footwork.
James Munder.
James Munder, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he was a little wild. He was. The
Hey,
thing you got to
listen.
remember is TIs too. They get messed with. It causes a lot of confusion and anger. There's a lot about his story, but anyways, I digress. But what were you gonna say?
Well, Big E was saying he was a beautiful person with no filter.
Yeah,
There
no,
are there are a lot of people doing what we do that get out there and profess to tell the truth. Not all are. Some of them are paid to give you 70% truth, 30% propaganda. Be careful who you're listening to.
right?
Make sure you're never, even with us, never ever take anything we say at face value. Please, God, no,
Ever.
go research it. I want to make you curious. I want to make you inquisitive to go find out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm just telling
Not
you what I found.
Right. Not only that, but you pray. You pray to Jesus Christ. You ask the Holy Spirit for discernment. And as we've mentioned before, if we are incorrect on something, we do not have that kind of pride where we're like, "Oh no, no, no." We'll look into it and correct ourselves as we go. I just need to throw that out there. We are
Have you seen
humble enough to
have you
be like,
seen the
"Oh no."
preachers that are coming out and correcting what they knew about tithing?
No.
Yes, ma'am. There are quite a few of the bigger preachers on TV that are apologizing to their people in their church that they completely misunderstood what tithing was and how they were taught what tithing was. Tithing has nothing to do with money. It's about 10% of the population. It had nothing to do with giving 10% of your income to a church, a square building with boxed religion that never told you the truth to begin with, never told you all about the real things in the Bible. Go P singing Rock You Like a Hurricane. I'm gonna have to check this dude out. He sounds like he was a good time.
I wonder if his channel's still up. I don't even know. Because this was before the big purge went down. This was quite some years ago. So I'm not sure if his channel had survived the purge or not and
Let's
then got
see.
brought back or not. Like, I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
I'm looking it up
You're
as we
like, I'm
speak.
on it, girl.
I'm
That's
on
right.
it, girl.
Because
Yo,
you
I
get to
have.
touch buttons.
There's a John Munder country icon. Yeah, you don't get to touch buttons. No, I'm not seeing anything. I'd have to do some digging to find some old stuff, probably.
Probably. I kind of figured because there's reasons they certain people are no longer with us anymore.
Big E's
So
on it. Big E will find it. He's
you go, Biggie.
he's
Thank
always on it.
you.
Yeah, my brain's been firing. This is hang on. My brain started yesterday on this unleash of a question, and this is where my brain leads me. This is one spreadsheet. Down at the bottom is all kind of cross cultural comparisons of mythical creatures, like in each one, like Hindu. It tells you in Hindu what time period that this creature was talked about, what it looked like, what it was supposed to do. Like y'all, I have 3 volumes of this. This I couldn't sleep last night for doing this. And then I'm working on a database that will take all 3 of those and put them together so it can be used as a cross religious reference as I build it. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of where my crazy brain was yesterday. He was looking a bit thin and worn out.
It's backwards. Why do I not have
Don't
mirror?
touch any buttons, heifer. Okay, now I mirrored your camera. There you go.
Word. There we go.
Don't touch buttons. Shannon
This
has no
for
authority to touch buttons for
you.
the new viewers.
This.
Hold on, let me ever think this. That's my daily life. Let me ever think this. Let me put listen, that whole spreadsheet that ended up with 3 massive volumes with like 20 tabs per page. Then there's two spreadsheets for export and import and cross database collection and comparison. All I wanted was a timeline of biblical history, and this is where I ended up. But anyway.
You know I'm literally preached to the choir. You know
Yeah.
I'm that person. This is why I own this.
Yeah.
So it's okay, girl.
Well, our subjects
I
tonight, guys,
understand.
is talking about the water and satanic panic and probably 12 other squirrels we're going to chase. So go ahead and roll on up, take a big hit, puff, puff, pass, share with a friend. Water. There are many things that involve this water conversation tonight. We know that those things that they put Sarah Connor in prison for in Terminator are using vast amounts of water. We know that the vast amount of our population gets water through some type of municipal water system where the water has been processed. There's bottled water. When we talk about water that's processed, you're showering in it, you're cooking your food with it, you're making tea with it, you're drinking it. Um, this water has memory. And I pulled this up. The sound is a lot of music, so I'm not playing the sound. But this shows you right here. They take a glass of water and put it over an image. And when you freeze it, it'll freeze with that image in it. It will give a reflection of what it saw every single time, without question. It will structure itself to replicate that image. Now, right here, you put a piece of paper up under water that says schizophrenia. Watch what it draws. Look, did you see that? Hold up.
Mhm.
I didn't pause it in time. All right, schizophrenia. There's a face here and there's a face here. It looks as if, you know what I'm saying? Like it
Mhm.
understands there's multiple people in schizophrenia. How did it do that from a word?
Mhm. See, a good way to combat all of this, right? Aside from trying to avoid bottled water, but even your, local municipal water source it's all corrupted. But a really good way to, especially with your drinking water, if you can get a copper vessel and do that, but play some praise music, sing praise to Jesus Christ, sing praise and glory and blessings upon your water before you take a bath, as you're showering. These kinds of things are good ways of combating that because we need water to survive.
You're
We can
made of water.
fast, right? We can fast. Exactly. We're made of water, and you can fast for a very long time, but you still need some water. I mean, that is still a thing. And you just need to remember that prayers and blessings in the name of Jesus Christ have a purpose. It's not just some tradition you were taught before you eat at the dinner table. There is a real purpose to praying over things like your food and your water, your loved ones. That's why.
Well, Saturday, when we went on this float thing, is kind of what got me partially down this. I spent a lot of time in nature, a lot of time internally working things out and praying over the weekend during this time with nature. Hang on, let me pause this because I want to talk about the rice experiment. Um, we floated in that river, which is living water. It is natural water filtered through the earth, running down a river. It's full of fish and life. That is called living water in its original form. We spent 2 hours floating in this water, like we were wrinkled up. You know what I mean? We was raisins by the time we got out. But where I have mosquito bites, I have a horrible, horrible reaction to mosquito bites. I'm usually covered in something to keep them off of me. And they tend to love my RH negative blood for some reason. They will literally seek me out like a buffet. But when we got out of this water, like everywhere I had one of these mosquito bites or one was trying to heal up, they looked different. They looked the cleanest and healed they had been in quite some time after spending 2 hours in that water. And you think about the fact that they're draining water out of the fresh reservoirs to run it through those places, Miss Connor went to prison for, and they're using it to, hang on, cool their computers. You got a room full of computers. In this room full of computers that you are cooling, you can see from these videos that water can be structured. It doesn't have to be frozen to be restructured. The freezing of it just puts it in a more solid form so you can see the restructuring. That water is being structured no matter what it's sitting in, whether it's liquid or frozen or gas. It can be structured. Water has memory. Water is H2O. They know the chemical breakdown and components of it, and they cannot make it nor reproduce it because it was made by our Father in heaven, the Creator. You can't replicate it. They've tried. They can break it apart, but they can't put it back together. That explains to you the importance to water in our life. And they're going to run it through these places through computers. So who's to say that they're not doing that to actually, because they're telling you they're going to take that water and cool it and then put it back into the municipal supply. What if they're programming it when they're using the computers? I mean, vibration changes water. What it's being held in changes water. Copper restructures water. You can take city water, filter it, put it in a copper vessel, and refilter it back to a living, live substance. You can drink all that plastic bottle crap you want, and it ain't doing your body no good. Now we get down to the fact of what all they put in the municipal water. Would you like to give people an idea of some of the chemicals that are contained within that, Miss Shannon?
We have, of course, we have fluoride. We have highly, highly chemically treated sewage water that's being recycled in. We have water that's coming in from the Colorado River. We have the groundwater that is recycled, that is, of course, from fractionating the earth to release natural gas. And of course, my favorite is you cannot filter out, because again, we are using a percentage of recycled sewage water. You cannot filter out things like all of the medications that
Birth
people take.
control.
For all, think of all of the pharmaceuticals that a number of people use in your area. And think of now the fact that you bathe in that. Sure, it's chemically treated, so you got extra things opening up the pores in your skin, which your skin is your largest organ in your body and soaks in more fluid and water than you do when you physically drink it. So you are literally taking in all kinds of pharmaceutical products
So when
within
you
your
are
skin.
taking a shower, stop taking hot showers. I don't know. I used to be one that would get in there and I'd stay in it so long I'd run out of hot water. I used to love to take a hot shower. Whatever you've seen them push at you on television, these shower heads, so you can stay in this massaging steam shower with 9 sprays of water blowing on you for 45 minutes. That's 45 minutes. You have heated your pores. Your pores have maximized in dilation and taken in every single chemical that was in that water. You are poisoning yourself taking a shower. That's just the simple facts of it. You aren't, but the one sending it to you are.
You
And
know,
then it's
this
coming in through plastic pipes in your house.
right. You know, this is a really good segue into what I wanted to bring up about with satanic panic. And I know this is kind of a strange way you're thinking, but I promise it actually leads into this directly. But you got to understand that people, okay, we all want to be clean, we want to be hygienic. But what is truly hygienic? And are you actually being cleansed with the products that you are told are cleansing your body? You look back into many different historical periods of time, even even in the times where hygiene was very questionable and things along those lines, but they did have some means and ways of cleansing their hair and certain things that didn't require chemicals. But when you're looking into actual beauty products throughout the history of things, you find that there's always some toxic, poisonous chemical that is laced along in with it. Like the Queen of England, how Queen Elizabeth, her face was actually being just mutilated and destroyed by the caking of this white porcelain makeup that she would
Yeah, it
put on.
poisoned her.
And it's like by the end of her life, she had to cake it on because her face was so terrifying.
Yeah, she looked like a leper by the time that it had mercury or silver or something in it. I can't remember
Right.
that they were making
So
it from.
the push for showering every day, washing your hair, all these things, your face, all of these things, these were created by advertising and through soap companies. Fun fact, Procter and Gamble, they were one of the big forefronts of the big changes in the hygiene industry, but they were also the ones who brought upon soap operas, which were literally called soap operas because their whole entire purpose was to be sponsored and to sell this soap. It was all done through the radio and then eventually on television, which by the way, the longest running show in all of history was a soap opera that was started by Procter and Gamble. Now, their history goes, pretty far back into the early 1800s. And throughout time, that company not only changed the forefront of the hygiene, game, but they brought in the laboratory, you know, uh, standards, testing out things, adding in the science behind the backing of their products. So they had their hand in entertainment for advertisement purposes, and they had their hand in the science realm when it came to hygiene products. Procter and Gamble is the bringer of Tide. Procter and Gamble also had some very interesting controversy throughout their periods of time having to do with feminine products and synthesized chemicals instead of the cotton and the certain things that had been used for however long. They
Um,
per
sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead. Never mind.
no, go ahead.
Uh, Diane has got me down a rabbit hole. Go ahead.
But anyways, this particular company had also been found out by certain said groups, like throughout the 80s and 90s there was this big huge push for the satanic panic, which I would like to express to you that this is a psyop, right? Because Procter and Gamble and throughout the 70s and into the early 80s was in big trouble because of the feminine products issue and deaths and things along those lines and not taking accountability and many many things. So people started doing digging. They started to find out how many little tentacles they had and how many things. And they found that they were connected to the Satanic Temple, like many other things we know of today that we understand are part of that now today. But back then, it was being pushed out. So how do you start to counteract this whole thing to gain trust back, because this was considered the most trusted brand in history, since the early 1800s. They had built up this trust with their constituents. And I just wanted to put out there that this it's not just Procter and Gamble, but as you see throughout history as we've come along, how much more in your face the obvious satanic ritual nonsense that is thrown in everything, and the connections to big people like Satan Semroid, Billy Goat Man, many, 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 many others that we could name off, but we're not going to go there because y'all know.
You know,
But
you know.
right, So, what better way than to squash this, than to start creating a whole, oh, this is just the new witch trials. This is just a panic. Even though more and more things were being discovered and media is becoming more and more available. And in the 90s, of course, we were starting to get into the internet. So all this time, as all these even smaller factions are being discovered, like little nowhere places in the middle of nowhere having things like those three guys who had something to do with unaliving some children, who then were exonerated because they became besties with Johnny Depp and all these famous people, so they must totally be
Okay.
innocent,
They're all okay.
right? They're all okay. That's just satanic panic. That's just a witch trial. The McMartin trials. The McMartin trials were 100% provable. Ted Gunderson had found plenty of proof that this was real, that these children were being taken and abused as they had said. But because they named famous people, people in politics, in sports, in and entertainment and so on and so forth with their encounters, oh, they're lying. Satanic panic. Oh, and
Mm-hmm.
then of course you look at the older lady who's in charge of it. She's just a little grandma. Look how innocent she possibly could be.
Are you talking about all funky
The
chick,
the
crazy
Meg
chick?
the McMartin Trust. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the
Mm-mm.
lady who ran it, the older woman, she really presented herself as just this little innocent older woman who couldn't hurt a fly. And how dare all these allegations happen? Even though these children were even taken to doctors and there was literal evidence that they had been physically assaulted in areas they should not ever be touched. This is what I'm talking about. This is the psyop to cover up all the things that they do in front of your face, because why? They have to by oath, so you give your silent consent to these things and are indoctrinated and are in, you know, compromised positions.
See
That's
this.
how it works.
This brings, now that I see this, and I've never really looked into this. Sorry, guys, motorcycles coming by wide open. Um, I had the window open. The We're having a very similar situation here where there was a church and they had let a known PDF volunteer at the church and have access to the children, and now they're arresting people left and right, and there's a big investigation going on. A bunch of lawsuits been filed. That's going on down in Georgetown County.
Hmm.
Uh,
See, and this isn't just for the big wigs, right? This is also a cover up and psyop for the thousands upon thousands of cults that have very big power in throughout the United States. Now, look, the United States alone has over 10,000 registered known cults. Over 10,000. That's known cults. How many cults exist that are just now being discovered? And
what's
that
the
is
guy?
not including the rest of the world, okay?
Jim Brown, isn't that the one that got 400 people to drink the Kool Aid?
uh Jim Jones. You're talking
Jim
about
Jones. Yeah,
Jonestown.
Jim Jones.
Jim
Jim
Jones.
Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's a monster. He's an absolute monster. Don't get me wrong, he is. Give me a minute on this. But he's a monster. 400 people he talked him into drinking the Kool Aid and it killed him. How many people did Fauci talk into that shot?
Thank you.
We told you so. And I think the world is waking up to the fact that we told you so. We've been telling you so the whole time. Not you guys, because we know you know.
And it's not even about we told you so. It's more along the lines of, when will you see that we have all been MK'd? We are all under,
Mm-hmm.
we have all been under a spell. And the only way to wake up is through Jesus Christ. Because even if you start to see the truth, you can be misled in so many directions now. The psyops are just absolutely beyond fathomable at this point because of things like AI and the technology that we have.
Well, I think Diana
So,
or Big E said something a while ago about the SC Johnson, a family company.
yes, SC
Just
Johnson
an
and Johnson.
FYI, their headquarters is in Racine, Wisconsin. There's some wild stuff that goes on in Racine, Wisconsin that we've looked into. We've talked a few times.
Did you know that one of the family members had come out with a documentary exposing his family? Not a huge, not as like wide open as he obviously could have, but it was like questioning. a lot. And his father, even though he knew like this can't go really anywhere, he was trying to just be like, look, I get it. But the grandfather was like not having it, like ready to disown him right then and there. And there's an interview actually of another disowned member from the one of the R families, either the Childs or the Fellas. And it's a very interesting documentary. But what's weird is I have not heard a single peep out of that kid ever since then. And I wonder if they got to him and pulled him back in, or if he was disappeared. These are just interesting questions. But I find it interesting that their own family member was like, hey, wait, something's not right with my family. Something, well, like, and I got to tell people. It's a fun fact.
Well, the S.C. Johnson um, is in Racine, Wisconsin. When you start looking up Racine, Wisconsin, you'll see some serious three-letter agency stuff going on in the area. Now, these pictures you're seeing here are from the outside of the S.C. Johnson. This is what's on the top side, folks. This is what you see when you get there. This is their corporate headquarters. The inside of the office space to me looks like something out of the movie 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton. It just does. That's what it looks like. It was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright or whatever his name is. But what you don't see, there's this movie called Resident Evil, and for some reason my brain always forgets that. But I did get
It
it
was
this time.
originally a video game.
Yeah. The Umbrella Corporation in there has a building, which is kind of like a silo, but it's a research facility. It looks like this. This is what it looks like underground. Um, this is what S.C. Johnson looks like underground. Mackenzie Phillips used to talk about what happened to her in the 80s. Mick Jagger. Yeah, there's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff. There's a lot of these kids that were brought up in this that are horrible.
And this is
Mama
why
can't
I
stop this.
like to remind us to pray for our enemies and to pray for children and to pray for these people. You don't know how many of them have been born into these things. You don't know what their life is like. And I can tell you, most of these, most, if not all, the people who are born into these elite families go through absolute horrific torture throughout their childhood to quote unquote be trained for their position that they're being handled for. So, it's not like they are just purely evil because they're pure evil. Sure, when you get to the adulthood and you accept in the demonic stuff through it, that's a thing. But a child who has not had a choice or knows any better can be very easily put in a place where they can grow up to be a very evil person through evil people who have raised them. And we need to pray that Jesus comes to them before the end, before it's their time.
Well, one of the first interviews I did was with a guy who used to be in a rock band. And, he traveled around the country. They were opening for some pretty good sized talent. We talked off camera and we talked on camera. Some things we didn't put on the record. But he explained how it worked. And it was one of the reasons he bailed out. Um, he bailed out of it because he said the depravity and the push toward the dark side was overwhelming. And he said, like, these big bands, when they would come off stage, Aleister Crowley's there. Like, he's there and he's handing out books and he's patting them on the back. And the the things that went on backstage with young female fans was part of the reason that he bailed. It was just all too dark. But
Mhm.
sorry, I'm trying to read comments and text messages. But they're putting it in our face. I want you to look at all of these pop stars. Have you seen the ones with the pearls all over them? Does anybody in the audience not know what those pearls symbolize?
I'm sure most adults know what a pearl necklace is.
Well, they've got all these actors, regardless of their race, with blonde hair. They're bleaching their hair blonde. They're all gluing pearls all over them and all over their clothes. If they pushed homosexuality any harder, they would slap you with it. And they're altering the water with chemicals that shut down the normal processes in kids' bodies. There's so much of it in the food, the cereal, the Pop Tarts, the honey buns, the chips. It's just loaded with chemicals that are overloading their little bodies. This is why we got 9 and 10-year-old girls who have, thank you, sweetheart,
You're welcome.
who have, don't be on camera. Sorry, grandbaby just walked in. We, that are way ahead of where they should be compared to when I was coming up. And one of the reasons the boys, you're not seeing the prominent Adam's apple in the actual male anymore. That's based on testosterone. Women and men have an Adam's apple. We all do. But men have a shield on theirs, which is kind of like a piece of cartilage that's in your knee or your shoulder or whatever. It is a protection. It's biblical. Go look it up in the Bible. They're taking that away from us, from the men. And the less prominent their Adam's apple seems to be, the more feminine those men are. This is not, those people don't have any control. They didn't know they were being poisoned. They didn't make these choices on their own.
I have to reiterate this. Baphomet, which is a deity that is worshipped in these high ranking cults in the world of Satanism, is a dual sexed individual. It is hermaphroditic, it has all parts. So, therefore, it is a way of worshiping and sacrificing to their God. They are, in a sense, sacrificing our children to
Burnt
Baphomet
offerings. Burnt offerings.
through not just but through transing them, creating them into a both man and female as above so below being. You've all seen that it has this and is a an androgynous, also not fully human be it deity, right? It's part animal. This whole transing thing, think of the furries, think of these kids being pushed to be like, I think I'm a cat. There's multi-purpose to what is being pushed on there, on
Well,
our children and throughout the generations.
and what they're pushing is, hang on, guys, I got to get up. I got to readjust. I don't know if you saw the shirt earlier. Mouse works faster than the brain, but I got to get on my leg. Been sitting here too long. They're not only pushing the whole transgender, trans everything. They're also pushing black against white, red against blue, up against down, south against north, Yankee versus Southern people. Like everywhere you look, man against woman. Me and Shannon had a conversation this morning that
Yeah.
we're seeing so many, and we were talking about it, that we wonder if there's something going on with women, or if this is something they're trying to push in our face, or is it just because we have more FaceTime interaction with so many more strangers now through TikTok? Because normally, previous social media, Facebook, you only interacted with your friends. Snapchat or something like that, you only really interacted with your friends or famous people or whatever. At TikTok, as you're scrolling, you will run across oodles of random people and hear their story. And there's lots of women and men. This is not just women that are, like, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, and they've got to the point that they have broken the family unit. And somebody said a while ago the picket fence. Yeah, the picket fence dream is gone. But see, the problem goes back even further than that. Back when you had families living as a unit, as a little community, and supporting each other,
Yes.
then they started pushing it on you that everybody needed their own house, everybody
Yep.
needed two cars.
Yep.
Then you got the wife out the home and she went to work. The kids come out of the home and they went to school to be programmed with MK Ultra and science experimented on military bases. Put your hand up, Shannon. Shannon and I met completely randomly through Daniel, and we're now best friends. But you explain to me how me on the East Coast, her on the West Coast, years apart, vast distance, never knew each other before, have both been through that program. And it's not a question, it's not an if. I mean, we know.
No.
We know we were
Literally no.
there. Like I can tell you I was on Fort Bragg. I can tell you what time I was on Fort Bragg. We're talking about stranger things with caps on your head and wires coming out. Because I was having
Levitating,
anxiety attacks after the gifted class.
levitating in machinery and all kinds of fun stuff.
Seeing things that you don't even understand for 30 years. And then you start seeing them and you figure out when you saw them and why you saw them. Not only is there programming, it when you start figuring it out, it'll a little up here. It's crazy. They have hidden so much of history from us, the truth about everything. And it all evolves off of greed. Greed. The same dumb ass people at the top that run these investment firms own a little bit of every company. They start with the seed company, then they got the chemical company you got to spray the seed with. They own both of them. Well, then they own the company that processes the product. Then they own the food company that puts it together into a processed product like Fruit Loops or Pop Tarts or Oreos. That makes you sick because it's been full of chemicals from point A to point B, C, D,
Um,
and E.
I
Well,
mean,
then
I
when you
would.
get sick, huh?
I mean, I would say that it's even beyond just that. It's like they are. It's not even just greed. It's control.
Yeah.
It's
1%
control.
has control of 99%. And as long as they keep you distracted, divided, pissed off, and looking at everything except what you're supposed to be looking at, they're going to keep pulling the strings.
Look up the definition of academics, and it'll tell you exactly what they think of us and why they put us through academic programs because it's useless and has no practical value. It's basically just a bunch of nonsensical stuff to distract you from true knowledge so they can keep us dumbed down and continue to have control over however, whatever they want. we
Dun dun
spend
dun.
we get into mass amounts of debt to what, go to university, to what, get a good job. And when you understand you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of your life and existence, and have banked your future upon something that literally means is of no value and is pure nonsense. That should tell
Right
you.
here. No real world use. Just a discussion. That whole public school thing, that's for programming the little ones. And to put the mom into the workforce so they can collect taxes off her back too. Like, I try not to get too riled up on here, but we know because we are part of you guys.
Mhm.
Like, we understand that most of the world is struggling week to week right now to keep your bills paid. And Shannon and I had the conversation this morning. Like, we ain't bought nothing new, I don't have no new boats or four wheelers or any of this. I'm making the same money I was making, but before I can get to the end of the month, I'm out again. Like, what's going on? And you don't realize it because, like, you buy the same things at the grocery store every week. You buy ragu spaghetti sauce. You buy, Velveeta, whatever. You put the same things in the cart and you're not looking at the dollar amount. These people are using moving prices on
Yeah.
you. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it is, you can pick up something off the shelf in Walmart. If three people behind you walk up and grab a bunch of them, before you get to the register, the price will change because that little sensor on the front of it understands it was an in demand product and it will jack the price up. That's price gouging all day long. All day long. How are they getting away
A
with it?
peach was $3. A
One,
a peach.
1% and 99%. We're over here. But if we don't stand up and do something, we're going to fall further and further and further down the
And this
pyramid.
is the slow frog boil, guys. This is the way they are going to get us to comply with universal income, aside from the fact that every single job that you've ever known, it will be taken over by them and their AI nonsense. The
AI has already taken
demons.
my job. The majority of positions that I have worked in my life, I would say 85% of them have just been completely taken by AI. Like anything accounting or financial. Okay, I was a forensic auditor. I went in and looked for who was stealing. One of my jobs was I used to go in and act like the new dumb office girl that they just hired and sit at the desk, and just be like, "Oh, how can I help? Oh, let me do that for you." And the more they were handing you, the bigger you were getting in there because the boss man that owns the company
That's
had hired
good.
me to go in there and PI these heifers and see which one of them was stealing. Come to find out, it was the secretary and his wife. They were having an affair behind his back. Got some crazy stories on those, but
I mean, for
there are
now,
no jobs.
for now, if you work with your hands, you're okay. For
Mm-hmm.
now.
For
But I
now.
can tell you right now, like in my industry, I keep seeing all these videos popping up of AI generated, videos of people using these fancy, cool machines that does whatever you want. You just put it on the head and it like, oh, and everyone's like, oh. But guess what? That may be AI now, but Dubai already has something very similar happening right there. I've already seen years ago in Germany a robot hairdresser. I
Well,
mean, they're pushing the Jetsons movie out again, and let's not forget, you just put on the little thing and your hair was done.
I mean, look at the airplanes we looked at the other night on the show. Like these things were tested 10, 15 years ago, and these things are going Mach 55 without harming humans that are inside of it. They've had that for 15 years. What do you think they got now? As far as medical technology, like I said, the same people at the top of the food, the other part of that circle is the insurance company you get your health insurance from. They own the hospital, that owns the doctors, that owns the pharmacy, that owns the drug company, that feeds right back to the same people that sold you the damn seed to grow the food that made you sick. And if they don't get enough of that, they spray the poison in the air to poison us and the crops and the water. We are living in an ant farm and they've gotten a magnifying glass, folks. If
We
you know
are
somebody that ain't awake, you need to reach over there and shake them.
we are Silo. We are Severance.
If you've
We
not
are
watched,
Pluribus.
if you've
We
not
are
watched
X Files.
Silo and Pluribus, you need to go watch them. The show Silo on Apple TV. If you are awake, you need to go watch it.
I
Take your time.
honestly, I kind of blown away with Apple TV and their shows. I cannot tell you how many now we've now watched going, what? They're showing this and saying this out loud?
Mind
No.
control, mind control, mind control. We have watched series after series on there. Shannon and I try to find a series and like go watch it together, and you guys hear us break it down. Pluribus, Hive Mind, Silo. If you ain't watched it, go watch it. Watch The Water.
And
What else did we watch? Severance, Mind Control. There's so,
mind control.
what else was it? We watched
And
something else.
severing you into multiples.
Alters, innies and outies.
Altars.
Go watch Apple TV. They saying some stuff out loud.
It's wild. I mean, again, they gotta show you
Mm-hmm.
because it's all
Free
about
will.
silent consent, man.
Free will. The things you saw on Star Wars and Star Trek in in the 80s. Oh, wrong button. Cut the camera off a second. The things you saw in Star Trek and Star Wars back then, they had that technology 50 years before that.
Oh, before that, this is ancient
Roswell, New
technology.
Mexico was not an alien craft, folks. That was Adolf Hitler's technology from his base in Antarctica called New Schwabland. Hitler did not die in a bunker with a bomb. Hitler, what country?
I thought it was Argentina.
Argentina. He went to Argentina. That is the closest jump off point to his base in Antarctica.
Question. I know this. See, only a theater nerd kid would ask something like this, but does anybody know when Evita and her husband were, the politicians in Argentina? Because they, like, there is this whole, I mean, they practically worshiped Evita and they made a whole musical out of her. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, remember.
1946 to 1952. Right along in old boy's time.
This is why Evita, which by the way had blonde hair and
Imagine
everything.
that.
Madonna plays her in the movie version. Okay. There's something there. They must have been taken in, said Führer. I'm just saying. It's pretty wild. I know it's a weird, odd connection to make, but I've always thought to myself, why does this lady seem so
Hang on.
worshipped? You know?
Hang on. Something just crossed this frazzled little brain I got. Daughter's texting.
You know, don't
Safe from
cry for
safe from her
me.
shift of trying to save the world.
Argentina.
There was this other. See, we're chasing squirrels. Everybody, chase them with us. Here we go. All right, this is Evita Peron. She was the first lady of Argentina from 46 to 52. All right. There's another person that came in contact with the little man with the mustache. And this is her. Look at that. Look at that.
See her? I can't read because it's so tiny.
Maria
Well,
Orsic.
yeah.
She was head of the Varil Society.
Interesting. Well, you know what is also interesting too is I know Evita had done some film, like she was trying to be a film star before she met her husband and became a political figure. And I don't know, it's just very fascinating, all the connections. And I mean, that lady must have done something very big to have been pushed in praise for so long, still to this day, it is a very popular show. It is constantly put out there in praise of this lady in Argentina. I just find that to be fascinating that it is right around the same time period that we're
Well,
discussing.
Maria Orsic, if anybody didn't know, she was part of the Varil Society, VRIL. She claimed that, now these are women that did not cut their hair, they had very specific beliefs. She said that she woke up with basically something in her head, and she drew it out. She ends up meeting with a Germanic holy man, a Tibetan monk, and somebody else in the middle of the woods to decipher these two drawings that she had. They were labeled with languages she did not speak. She wrote them, she drew it. It was what she said was downloaded to her from this
Channel.
superior race of people, which would have been fallen angels in
Mhm.
Antarctica, just FYI. So you don't have to try to find that puzzle piece. Um, they were in Sanskrit and something else. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've been down that rabbit hole. But it was for, you'll see right. No, that was the other way. The Hanabu craft.
Hmm.
And we're talking, yeah. Maria Orsic is the one that gave Mustache the plans for the Hanabu craft, which she said was downloaded to her by the Aryans from Antarctica, which were Nordic, tall, blonde, fair skinned people. No, baby, it was fallen angels all day long, demons, which are still what's part of in Antarctica is why they guard it with everything.
So my question is here is why have we not actually looked into what secret bases and things might be located in Argentina, and maybe did the Perones have something to do with financing
Oh
and
yeah, oh yeah,
dealing with said building of these things? Like
girl, we
what?
went down this rabbit hole one time.
I don't remember the specifics on that one, I guess. We go
Um,
through a lot of trains, man. So
well, we do.
refresh my
Well,
memory.
he knew, Mustache knew that this was not going to end well for him. Okay, everything that Mustache was doing had different purposes than what people thought they did. He was, for what they've showed you on the surface that this man was doing, you know, and what he was doing literally underground, subterranean in other countries is mind-boggling. Long
Mhm.
before he was ever defeated in this war, he had his getaway set up. He had been building submarines that could travel great distances. He had Hanabu crafts by the 40s. He was testing these things. Um, in Antarctica, there's a place called New Schwabland. You know, it's supposed to be a rumor, and I'm putting air quotes up, everybody, because you can't see them. But um, the rumor was that he had a base there. He did have a base there. These these people that Maria Orsic was communicating with was fallen angels, which are demons. This is why, this is why Antarctica we have a treaty. All countries adhere
Mhm.
to it. They make out that it's a research facility. No, it's not. Okay, people know what astral projection is, how we can leave our body and go visit other places if you know where you're going. Shannon and I know. They done it to us as kids. They taught us back then and then shut it off to reduce our access to it. You all have the capability. You all have the capability of telepathy, telekinesis, astral projection. Open up that pineal gland. Stop drinking that city water. Get you some real
We
water.
gotta stop drinking these caffeine. Whatever. Yeah,
But
we gotta stop drinking a lot of stuff. But keep
there, if
talking.
you read in the Bible about where these fallen angels were chained, it was under the earth. Some were frozen, some are forever burning. The ones that are frozen are sitting in Antarctica. They're imbuing technology upon people that meet there. The day before the election, John Kerry made a special flight to Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he ever? I'm pretty sure Lindsey Graham been there too.
How geographically close is
Very close.
Argentina to?
Very close.
Yeah,
It is the
yeah.
closest.
See,
I'm going there,
this
girl. I'm
is an
going.
access point. This is
Yeah,
an
it's the jump
access
off point
point.
for um yeah, I mapped this out one time. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. See, we on my stuff now. We on World War II. You know I love some World War II. That's where my awakening started. Everybody was World War II. Google Earth.
Thought I just kind of
As
had
you
a
can see,
weird
I've been on
obsession
one.
with that because I kind of did. Not gonna lie.
Well, that's not exactly where it started, but it was a good portion of it was when I had to figure out why Hitler did what he did. I don't trust anything they've told us. Like I said, they've been pushing shower heads at us so they can pump chemicals in. I haven't trusted what they said, and I went back to World War II, and it's a whole bunch of shenanigans. Just absolute shenanigans. All right, here is ooh, look at her, Betsy. We was just this false globe narrative that they've got here. But this is Antarctica. This is what they tell you Antarctica is. If you take it like right here and split that bad boy and go around the other way, unfold that map, you'll see where we live at. But let's see which direction. There's Argentina. There's Antarctica. Like it is literally next door to each other. Like, we talking Florida to the little further than the Bahamas.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep. All over Argentina right through here. Hitler had bases that he could access via submarine, get into Argentina to these villas and houses and stuff that he had built. He had guys living all over the jungles and the forest, his officers. There's proof of it today where people have gone back over and found all of the German, coins and stuff like that in these little houses in the woods that had these very unique like water systems so that they were off the grid. Mustache had two daughters after he was supposedly killed in that bombing.
Well,
Like he's got descendants, folks.
well, Merkel,
They
come
knew
on.
this.
Merkel is 100%.
They knew this. Our government knew this. Every government knew this. They let him go.
Not only that, we helped to fund this whole thing. But we played both sides from the beginning, and yet we were heroes, just like the Russians. This is not. They're look. Even the Hasidic, even the Orthodox Hasidic Synagogue of Satan, the Catholic Church, they all funded. All everyone funded that whole debacle.
Well, just on a basic sense of life, if your brother comes to you right now and says, "Hey, I've got an idea. I want to build a cookie company. Do you want in?" And you say, "Sure, what's the buy-in?" He's like, "Okay, I need, $20,000 to start the business. If you want 25%, give me 25 of the investment, and you'll get a percentage on the backside of the returns." It's the way any business works. What do you think these governments do with people like this? They had return on it. They had investment in it, so they're expecting a return. The same people running these countries are the same one that are running these major investment firms. Some of them are really dark colored. They look like this and they look like a rock. Those kind of places. They have their finger in all of it. It's the same people. The same people sitting in office are the same ones pulling the shots at these places that are managing the money. It's all one big pot of evil. All one big pot of turds. Anyway,
It's control.
control. Did you also know? Side note: we've already scrolled off of everything else. Did you also know about surf and dune? Do you know what those are?
Surf and dune.
Surf and dune. Surf
Oh.
is an underground research facility in South Dakota. DUNE is an international particle physics facility that's underground in Illinois. It is the same thing CERN is.
Oh,
CERN, SURF, and DUNE are all hooked to each other. But this place called SURF in South Dakota actually has a Stargate portal in front of the building.
well, funny enough, there's a facility like that under UCLA.
Mhm.
There
All
are
of your major
multiple.
research colleges have these facilities up underground. So if you think CERN is the only one out there, you are mistaken. They are everywhere.
It's just the largest at the moment. Although, didn't China say they were going to try and build a larger one?
They said so. They probably already have one.
Probably.
China is years ahead of us on technology. So is
Um,
Dubai. They're not ahead of us, just what the public knows about, what their citizens know about,
right.
is far ahead of what we know about the technology that our country has because they like to slap patents on it and make it government projects.
Right. And they like to utilize that for momentum for the people to make them feel superior, even though most of their people are just, you know, impoverished. And I mean, it's a really sad, sad kind of situation. But because the control in that country is so massive through the CCP, they are just, I mean, there's only so much they can do to give morale to the people and to make them feel superior when they're already down so low. And they look at, certain things in the rest of the world and go, what? That's why their internet is blocked from a lot of stuff from around the world. They have very tight control. It's a big deal. So the Chinese are they a lot of Asian cultures, and from India, they prize their education and technological advancements, and they keep that up as a morale with the people because they're, again, just brought down so low with so many laws and suppressed things and all of that. So if they make you feel like, oh, but that's okay, we are superior in technology, you are
You
all
know, Mike,
monkeys.
Mike, they ain't no outer space, baby doll. They ain't no outer space. You can't get out the firmament, and we know that. But they've been fooling people for years with these maps and Google Earth and showing us a ball. I mean, like,
Oh my
this is
god.
this is the crazy part about this. They for so long have put out so much propaganda about what Earth is. It tells you, oh gosh, right here, this one. This is the one I like. This is in my hands every day. As you can see, there's all kind of stuff in here. I've taken this thing and built like 60 massive spreadsheets for cross reference.
Yeah, that's the
Like
truth.
this is my daily, me and this right here. It tells you in there. It's flat. It's got a firmament. It's nothing but a snow globe. There's ice around the edge. That ice is where they're claiming they're running up to Antarctica. That's an ice wall around the edge, folks. We living in a soup bowl with a dome on it.
What's
If
that Pink Floyd song?
yep,
Living in a fishbowl year after year.
if you take a tennis ball and put a string through it, take a tennis ball and wet it. Hang it from something and wet that tennis ball. We're gonna pretend it's motoring a tennis ball. You wet it and you spin it like a washing machine. The water slings off. So you're trying to tell me that the maths that were flying around, they're like 600,000 of this and 30,000 of that, and we're doing this and we're spinning. Come on. If I can't make sense on a small scale with a tennis ball, this big old rock ain't doing that. The math don't math. There's no such thing as gravity. Let me break that to you. Gravity, the word gravity is bullcrap. There is magnetism, there's buoyancy, there's weight. Gravity is a concept.
Your good old boy Newton was part of the club, so you
Yeah, he was.
know,
Yeah,
you know, they're clubsters, man.
they do
Who's
what they're told
who's
to
in the
do,
club?
and they tell us to do what they want us to do so they can continue to have control. Part of this awakening is breaking the control.
Yeah, breaking the MK, which control. That's what the K stands for. It's just the German spelling.
There you go,
But
Mike.
even when we talk about black magic and things along those lines, that is spelled with a K at the end, not a C. That is actually determining that yes, that is of real black magic, real demonic, satanic magic. That's how you know.
Hmm.
And mhm,
Mike, you are correct, sir. Water will always find its level. If you take this cup and you fill it with water, when you tilt it, it changes. It's always going to stay here. No matter what you do with the cup, it's going to find a level. So if you had water on a ball, this water would be everywhere. The way we slinging and slamming like in a washing machine, it's
at an
impossible.
angle, no less.
Yeah. Like, and I was showing the grandbaby today, I'm teaching her how to cook, and she's pouring out spaghetti sauce. I said, you need half of this jar in your thing. So she pours it out and she looks at it, pours it out, she looks at it. I said, now explain to me why you did it that way. She said, because I wanted to make sure there was half. I said, well, it's liquid. You can measure half from this way or from this way. If you hold that bottle level, you will pour out exactly half of it into the pot. That's half. You ain't doing this with this rock that we living on. They full of poop. Poop. There's a guy today. He said, well, like, if all these things are real, why did we not know about them before? He said, we have. You have. Everybody has. He said they never stopped the majority of these books and publications from hitting the shelf. But for every one of truth, they put out three to say that that was wrong and that was a lie and that person was crazy. I mean, we're down on conspiracy folks till dragons. And I ain't sure that I didn't see a video of one in Scotland the other day. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Girl. Girl. Let me find it. Barrel chicka wow wow. We're going to TikTok. Puff puff pass everybody. Yeah, that's BS, Daniel. Daniel's with us. Shannon can't see comments.
I can't. I'm on my phone. I do not have a computer for I don't know how long. So,
See,
we'll
menopause just kicked in. What was I going to TikTok for?
you were gonna show us something cool. That doesn't
What
matter.
was I going to TikTok for, guys? God.
I've been like this half of the show, but I will say I have not gotten the the typical
Dragons.
frequency attack. So,
Dragons. That's what it was.
like my brain is actually functioning better than normal on this show because not only did we say a really kick booty prayer before we got on, but I am wearing my Faraday cage hat, so I'm on it today.
Okay, this was an animatronic dragon. There were people that actually saw this flying through the sky. But to my understanding, this is some kind of like animatronic thing in front of the Game of Thrones stuff. You see the drone behind it that's flying there. That would probably be pretty dang intimidating standing on the ground and all of a sudden a dragon comes overhead. Yeah, you can see where it's animatronic. Kind of like a kite. But that's wild. But that's it, dudes. Like, we're down to just dragons now. Because everything else was a lie. Water power has been known for thousands of years. Yeah, and Presidente the other day made the comment about magnetic companies. To get into magnets, that's where the money was going to be. You can make a motor run with magnets and centrifugal force. Like you can run just about anything on magnets. You can run a light bulb on two magnets.
We're super not telling you to go get a bunch of magnets and copper wiring. Not telling you to
No,
do that at all.
no. Oh, and I'm not going to tell you. Hang on. That I saw a TikTok today, and I got to look it up. Um, I'm not telling you that there's this stuff that I've read about and seen about on the Ticker Talker that is um there's cameras they got up on every corner. Evidently you're
Mhm.
not supposed to spray this stuff on your license plate because it messes
Oh.
it up and those cameras can't read your license plate. So guys, make sure you don't go to Lowe's and buy any Rust-Oleum number 214944 and don't spray it on your license plates because it'll block the flock cameras and they'll get upset. Please don't do that. Just saying. Just saying, everybody. 214944. Rust-Oleum reflective coating. Please don't spray that on your license plates.
I would like to remind everyone that most of the black ops money that gets funneled in, that we all of course pay for, and all, where's all this money going? We know the black ops stuff, right? Well, most of that, you would be surprised, isn't actually on just technology. It's on psychological warfare. That is the most highly funded department in all of the military. It is actually the most powerful section of the military, and that is through the Navy. Everybody thinks the Navy is useless. The Navy is not useless. The Navy is in control of all psychological warfare. And why? Because it's maritime. And what is maritime? It is Phoenician law.
Okay. You want to hear about how much money they waste? They wanted to know if a mother rabbit and a baby rabbit had a telepath connection from mitochondrial DNA. Our government spent $2 million. They claim they spent $2.2 million. We had some mama rabbits on the shore. We put the baby rabbits on a submarine and went 2 miles out and down in the ocean. And we killed the baby rabbits to see if the mother rabbit was affected. And she was. $2.2 million to prove that point. So they claim. They probably spent $12 on that and they had a pizza party. And I don't mean
Uh,
Domino's.
is pizza and hot dogs, maybe?
Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Or they was on the Lolita Express.
Hmm.
Yeah, Daniel, don't get nothing to block the flock cameras. It's a clear spray, but it blinds the flock camera, and that would be bad. Just saying, it would be bad. They wouldn't like that. There you go, Snowball. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. I actually had a cousin that used to get high and stand on the roof and say that.
I
He thought he
grew
was
up.
Elmer Fudd when he got high.
Oh
Not sure what he
wow!
was high on. He's dead now.
I grew
Man,
up
you didn't
so
talk about old
hard.
Mickey.
I grew up so hard on that show, right? And never even realized that I was actually in the area, in that like little spot where it all takes place. Like the whole Roadrunner coyote thing. Literally, this community college, which is literally a hop, skip, and a jump from my house, their mascot is the Roadrunner, and we got coyotes everywhere. And it's like you go into the desert, and you're like, oh, this is the
Well,
area. Rancho
since we're
Cucamonga.
off topic,
It's like right here. I know, but you squirreled me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say something to Daniel. Daniel's in the crowd. Daniel knows I'm talking about who I'm talking about, Mickey. And this was back when I didn't have a driver's license, so I couldn't have been 13 or 14. Mickey was the older cousin. Mickey was always in trouble. He was always in something. I don't know how he didn't end up in prison, other than his mama. But anyway, not sure what Mickey would get high on, but Mickey would get high. And by this time, he's a young adult. He's probably in his 20s. His mama would come outside looking for him. And we'd be out in the yard playing. And she'd like, "Have y'all seen Mickey?" Mickey would be laying on top of the roof, like army style crawl. And that's what he would say. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. When Snowball, it just brought that memory back. Mickey's gone. Mickey's gone now. Mickey drowned. We won't get into that. But wrong people, wrong time. Bad decisions. Naval intelligence involved in Laurel Canyon, California. Yes, they were, and all
Exactly.
the rock bands.
100%. Because why? Just like the mouse guy, that was all funded by the naval military faction. It is
Military
these,
complex.
it is the most, okay, think about this too. Like the Scientologists, which they have this whole thing, this naval faction to their cult. And when you are signed up for it, you're signed up for eternity. Like they don't mess around. And it's like the most important, like highest position you can get. There is some history behind maritime law and the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians, like the OG pirates, okay? They the Phoenicians in ancient days, they were the pagans, directly connected into the Egyptian, Sumerian, Celtic stuff, right? It's the embodiment. The Phoenicians, they're the ones who uh, created like certain purple dyes and stuff for the royalty and all of that kind of stuff, and they had a specific law that they abided by in the ocean, which we use that maritime law for some reason in our court system, in our judicial department. So when you go into a courthouse, you see the American flag with all the gold fringe. That represents maritime law. So we
Symbology.
are
Everything is a
right.
symbol with these people.
And so when you're thinking of legalese, because it is a real language, it is actually based off of maritime law, Phoenician law. That is what we are guided by. So therefore, our Navy unit, which why again, we've been told all our lives that the Navy, is really not that important. I mean, the Air Force gets a lot of crap too, but uh, it's not as, I don't know, just this whole time like sailors usually get brought into, certain same sex things, and you know what I'm saying? It's the I'm having the hardest time talking. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying.
Girl,
Maritime law is what really really runs our law. And when you look into legalese, that's what that is. It's all maritime law, it's all Phoenician law, it's all based off of a beast system
well,
we've
I can
already
tell
been
you,
in.
Daniel, y'all know him as Daniel. That's my Danny all day long. I see you in the morning, Bubba. We're going to lunch. Anyway, um, he told me for years, Daniel's been awake a lot longer than I have. And so in the beginning, he would tell me, like, it's all about symbols, it's all about symbology. You got to watch them. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm like, that's a lot. No, folks, he was right. Daniel was right about it all. Like, if y'all ain't been listening to him on Logic before authority, you should go back. He been at this a minute, about 16 years.
That's correct.
Everything is symbology. The way they hold their hands, the way they move their face, the color of the tie they got on, the tie tack they've got on, the flags behind them, whatever's being projected on a screen, the words that they say, the post that they put up. Everything is a communication and a symbology. Everything. And it's done right in front of your face so that it's free will and you're consenting. That's the only trick they got. They got to make you agree to it. They got to admit it. And they do it right in front of our faces. And we just go along and get along and let's go to Walmart's and buy another TV that we don't need. Have you noticed that the only damn thing that hasn't gone up in price is televisions? Why do you think that is? In all of this inflation, everything has gone up. Gas went up, food went up, insurance went up, rent has doubled and tripled in some places. Clothes have gone up. Everything has gone up. TVs are cheaper now than they were before COVID. You can go into Walmart's and get you a 85 incher for less than $500. Monster TVs. Vision.
That, of course, have cameras and listening devices and all kinds of fun stuff, too.
Yeah, Charles Manson he's another one that's not the monster he was made out to be.
Charles Manson, fun fact. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of the banned documentary. What was it called? Um, it was all about the boys' home in Nebraska and the
Is that the one with
whole.
Kevin Bacon?
No, it was a BBC documentary, but
Father
it was
Flanagan?
given, huh?
Boys
Larry
Town.
Boys Town. It was, I mean, I don't know if they've made a movie about this or not. I don't recall this, but there is an actual documentary that was aired for like a second and then it was pulled from the BBC, and it was all about this facility that took in boys, off the streets and stuff. And the whole fact of the matter that they had been caught trafficking these boys to various elite people, and through a politician who actually owned a credit union. And of course he was arrested for fraud with the credit union, but nothing ever happened to him about the whole trafficking allegations. And yes, I said trafficking, sorry, I don't care.
Say
But
it.
right.
Say it in
Well,
capital letters.
this place was actually so horrific that uh, Charles Manson was there. He was kept there for 2 weeks and ran away. He had been placed in many different facilities and had been actually documented as a MK, like a legit MK kid off the streets. So it's not like he just out of nowhere decided to push LSD on everybody and just out of nowhere had a SNUFF ring and a CHILD filming ring in there are many reasons why that man was kept in this position that he was in and allowed to do the things that he was allowed to do. And he was commissioned in an MK way to do the whole, you know, to collaborate the whole thing with the murders that he's most famous for. And they knew putting him away would not only help to make him look absolutely crazy, but he wouldn't be able to speak out on what he knows and what he had done for said elite government factions.
Cash just
He
said
was
conspiracy of silence.
conspiracy of silence. Thank you. But it's interesting too about Charles Manson is he he was really obsessive over bringing about the apocalypse. How many times do you hear this subject matter pop up? How many movies and TV shows and songs and whatever else you can think of that is on this train? But his whole thing with the Helter Skelter and the Beatles talking to him through the White Album, which, by the way, the Beatles, they also were in line and with all of this, were in it to win it with Crowley and the whole cult stuff, right?
One of them might have got substituted at some point.
Oh yeah, fall,
Mm.
right? Exactly. Ritual sacrifice. That's all I can say, right? Anyways, there there was this whole thing about creating the race war, and he believed he was going to head this race war to bring about the end. What are we dealing with every day, you guys?
Race war.
Race war. They were trying to incite it back then. They've been trying to incite this for a long time, because why?
Wait, wait,
They are
wait.
trying to push the end.
Would you like to know when the race war started? That was 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. If you want to know when they started the race war in America, that's when it happened. There were just as many white people taken as slaves as there were black people. It ain't got squat and shinola to do with
Yeah.
slavery. As long as they make the black and the white, the brown and the black, the white and the brown, the red and the blue, the left and the right, the straight and the gay, the male and the female, if they make us all fight,
Uh-huh.
we're
And
distracted.
yeah. And let me tell you, where does the slave trade even begin and where does it end? It well, which it's not ended.
Uh-uh.
The Middle East, you guys. It's not Africa. It's not America. It's not England, even though, of course, they were colonizers for a long time. Yes, we know. That is not where it began. The slave trade is began in the Middle East. There is actual history that shows that the Brits and the Americans came together to fight against the Middle Easterners trying to bring in said slaves.
Well, the
I
Appalachian
mean,
people that are still there today are ancestors of Scottish people that were brought over here imprisoned as indentured servants because they were prisoners of war. They came over here and they went in the Appalachian Mountains. The Indians didn't fight them because they said, "Oh, it's rock. You can't make stuff grow up there. These people will die. We don't even have to fight them. Leave them alone." They come back the next winter and they had bushels and bushels and bushels of potatoes.
all I can say, you guys, is no, there is no race of color, no skin color that makes anybody better or worse than anybody else. We are all children of the Most High.
Black and white and
Doesn't
brown
matter
doesn't matter.
what
It,
color we came out, man.
the color of your skin makes no more difference than the color of your hair. It is literally, there are 6 kinds of melanin that can be in a human being. A human being. There are 6 different kinds of melanin. Depending upon which one you have, it's a lot of it has got to do with the climate and the place that you came from. People who have a melanin in their skin that makes their skin much darker, they are much more tolerant to heat than us pasty ones are. Like I'm pasty. Like I'm outside for like 12 minutes and I feel like blisters are popping up. And it's just freckles trying to break out. But when you get sun, your skin gets darker. It becomes more heat tolerant. The melanin expresses itself.
All I can say is when there is a push, there is an agenda behind things, and it's used to manipulate and get us against each other. The divide and conquer, it's nothing new under the sun. Don't listen. I mean, I don't know, like as a kid, before anything, I never saw anybody different than myself like that unless you were mean to me,
And let me
you
give a
know?
shocker to some people out there, especially if you live, over here in the Bible Belt where I live at. Jesus weren't a white man, folks.
Right.
Jesus weren't white. No. Let me tell you, when I grew up, every church I ever went into, the picture of Jesus they had, he was just as pasty white as I am. And that is a lie. That was propaganda put to you so that he could be your God. And the people over there with the brown Jesus, they made him their God. No, Jesus was a brown man. He had a
It,
tan.
it doesn't even matter what he looked like. That is even the point.
He could
Because
have been green. It wouldn't have mattered. He was
he was
Jesus.
put in a place to blend in a genealogy to for that was there. And again, if the Bible is correct in Genesis, as we are created from the clay of the earth and the breath of God, then how many colors of clay is there in the earth? I guarantee you, you look at them and it all matches all of our skin colors because we are clay beings, apparently,
We are
originally.
all we are all a version of beige. Go okay.
We are
Go
people.
to Home Depot or Lowe's where they have the paint samples. Go to the beige section. We are all just versions of beige. That's all we are. And the sun affects it. There's no
The thing,
difference in that person on the inside than you, and it doesn't matter whether they're red or blue, left, right, white, black, brown, green, purple, or orange. We all bleed red.
what is the case? The name of that kid that ended up unaliving the other kid and pushing the whole racial thing on it, and how both sides are reacting. They are using the children, you guys, to push it. We should not be teaching our children to be afraid of anybody of skin color. It is the spirit. It is the spirit within. What, we're supposed to be covered, with that. It is a spiritual warfare thing. It is not a flesh suit thing. And we get so caught up in it and it drives me insane. And it's like, I mean,
Well,
we even have a president who has to be orange. I mean, I'm not sure why.
we got all kinds, all kinds of colors. And you're right, Big E. Hollywood depicts Jesus as being this soft spoken man. Okay, success. Jesus had success in what he was doing because he was convicted. He had faith,
Authority.
he had authority. Success in anything, whether it be a podcast or a spreadsheet or your job or your marriage or starting $1 million company, it's all about trial and error. The more you try, the better your success rate will be. Did you know that Picasso had over 100,000 pieces of art? Only like 1,500 of them became famous. That is a 0.7 rate of success in his art. Like you gotta put 100 out there to get one to make it. So when Jesus is, he was not soft spoken. He was flipping tables and talking trash, and he told people exactly what he thought. He had a kind
And did
heart.
it with authority.
Yeah, he
And
did it with authority. This ain't right. Stand up, flip the table. You lying. Call a liar a liar. The devil hates to be called a liar. Call him a liar to his face and rebuke him in the name of Jesus because they are all around you. They're on your television, in your radio, on your cell phone, walking around you. People that have got literal demons walking their skin suit. Sorry.
it's okay. We both have had some moments, man. That's what we do. That's why we're
I never,
here.
and this is a personal thing, I never put together until here recently how demons, for years, up until the past few, I never understood the actual concept of what a demon is. You think of a demon that you've seen in a movie as this horned monster that looks like something that crawled out of Sigourney Weaver. Like, that's not what a demon is, folks. Demons can come at you on radio frequencies into your head. They tempt you. The devil don't know what you want if you shut your mouth about it. Don't talk about those things. You just telling the devil how to come after you. He's always trying to delay you, distract you, and give you disinformation.
Yeah.
Yes, melanated people do have some powerful vocals. They do.
That's correct.
Yes, they have amazing voices.
Do you know how much I want to be the token white girl in a beautiful colored gospel choir? Oh my gosh, it'd be so much fun. I'm like, let's go.
And
Yeah.
I agree, Cash. He was not soft spoken when he whipped the money changers and he flipped them tables. No more than I would be or you would be if we went in and we did it with the kind of authority that he had. But and I heard a great story today, and it's talking about how could Jesus, how could God have let his only son die on the cross? And sorry, text, that's not important right now. It's my daughter. She's on the way home. She has a long drive home. It worries me when she's on the road. She's been at it since like 4 o'clock this morning. But how could you let your son die on the cross? And the guy told a story. He said, once upon a time, there was a king, and somebody was stealing from the treasury. And he said, and he put out an edict. He said, whoever is stealing from the treasury, and this was a good king. Everybody loved him. He was a just king. He was a good king. He said, whoever's stealing from us, when we catch you, you're going to get 10 lashes. Stealing continued. He upped it, 20 lashes. So they're still looking for this thief until it got to 30 and 40 lashes. 40 lashes was such a severe punishment, it was almost death was a certainty. Your body couldn't take it. So the thief is caught. It is the king's daughter. She is the one that has been stealing this money. So the people start looking around and going, well, is he going to punish her? Is he going to let her go? How is he going to do this? So, being the just king that he was, he sent his daughter to take her lashings. And as they ripped her shirt open and drew back to lash her, the king ran down, tore his own shirt off, and throwed his body over his daughter, and took the lashings for her, which killed him. And the moral of the story was he was responsible for her, but somebody still had to pay for it. And he did that for us. That is why God let him die on that cross.
Girl, you making me cry right now. Oh,
Call the devil a liar. Tell him he's a liar when he comes after you. When he tempts you with whatever that temptation is, whether it be alcohol or drugs or gossip or whatever it is, lust, vanity, gluttony, laziness, whatever it is, call him a liar and tell him that's not a part of your life anymore. I would have loved to have heard him talk. I would have loved to have been sitting on them steps when he flipped them tables over. I'd have been like, get it, get it, get it.
just like that. You know, I want to throw this out there real quick. I think her name is Merger or Marger Garcia. She's such a lovely lady who um, takes scripture and puts it into song. And one of my favorite pieces that she's done is from Romans, I think 18 to through 32 or 33. I can't remember specifically, but I have always had a hard time remembering scripture. Like, I'm not very good at memorizing all the time. But when she did that and put it into this little ditty, this little song that I could sing to myself over and over and listen to over and over again, I have that piece of scripture locked in, and now I can remember it by heart. And it's becoming actually kind of one of my favorites. I've had a few, but this one particular scripture is beautiful. And if you just get a chance to check her out on TikTok, she's under Merger Garcia. And I can't remember what she's under on YouTube, but she does also have a YouTube. And if you want to kind of start remembering scripture a little bit easier, her the way she does that, it's pretty neat. And I mean, you can do it for yourself. You can make little scriptures into ditties that you can sing over and over to yourself. But it really, it was cool because it was a way of locking that in. And I'm even terrible at remembering lyrics to most songs, even the songs I even write, you guys.
I wonder if I
But
still. Go
I
ahead.
hope you still have it. Do you still have it?
I'm talking about
Because
the
it,
one I wrote the other day for us.
oh, that's cool. But anyways, she just is like the scripture part. Like if you want to learn and remember things like that, I just thought she was neat and that idea was cool. But um, yeah, I wish we could play it. It's such a cute little
I was trying to pull up the
thing.
original song that I made for us the other day, and so I could have it to play when we went to leave out. I don't know if it's gonna load it up or not.
That would be
Uh,
cool.
I wrote a song the other day, guys. We're trying to redo the show a little bit because this thing started with the supernatural show with Daniel, and it was the three of us, and then Daniel was kind of shifting gears back to logic, and he was pushing me and
Mhm.
Shannon to do our own individual thing, and that
Yeah.
was fine. There was Children of the Most High and there's Roxy Files, and then the two of us, we can't live without each other, even though we're thousands of miles apart. We cannot spend a day without each other. It was a long
Yeah.
weekend when my
It's
phone shut
hard.
down.
It's hard to even
And
do a show without it. No, it's
yeah, like if we can't be together on the show, just like we'll wait, we'll do it another
yeah.
day. We'll do it
Every
another
now and then we have moments, but it's super rare. It's usually like we have to get this out now, and said person is asleep or not there. That's the only time that.
day. Yeah. Let me see if I can get this thing to play. Let's see. Entire screen. Choose tab. There we go. Also share tab audio. Why are you not letting me select it? Come on now, computer. Be nice. Aha, there we go. Share. Let's see if we can play this, guys. I don't know if we can hear it, but we're going to try. So, somebody in the audience tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been knocked down, left in the dust. Learn the hard way who we can trust. Every scar's another chapter, every bruise another win. Life tried to break us, now we're breaking in. We ain't here pretending we've got it all figured out. We're just two best friends gonna drown out the doubt. Speaking from the heart, saying what we believe. If the truth starts shaking things, roll up your sleeves. We're not backing down. We're not standing still. When the world gets loud, we're louder still. Raise a voice, let your voice be heard. Stand your ground. Every single word, truth runs deep and love runs strong. If you've been searching, you belong. Bring your battles, bring your fire, bring your hope, your heart, your desire. Side by side, we'll never fall. When one stands up, we rise up. No fake smiles and no polished lines, just real people living real lives. We've seen the valleys, we've climbed the hills, and we're chasing freedom with stubborn will.
So what do we think, guys? What do we think? Oh, we're getting thumbs up. Why is it still presenting? This stupid thing won't stop. Oh, just cancel, you stupid little machine. Are you there, Shannon? I can't get it to cancel presentation.
I am here.
I don't know why it won't cancel.
Nope,
There
there
we
it
go.
is.
There we go. There you go, Biggie. Roxy and Shannon, 2028. So we're working on something, and it may not be that beat. That's the word to the song. We're trying it with different. Like I wrote the song, and I'm trying it with different voices or whatever, and then I want Shannon to sing it, but we got to find the right beat and we're working
Yeah,
on it.
we're
But
working on it.
that's gonna be our theme song. Like the Golden Girls have theirs. When you think about Roxy and Shannon, you're gonna be like, that's my heifers right there. My heifers. We will stand with the world against you, and we're gonna scream the truth as long as we can, and as long as we're able. And we're gonna tell you this right now: we do not have any alcohol or drug problems. I do not want to harm myself. I am happy. I am healthy. I am well. I ain't getting on the helicopter. Just saying.
And you all are a witness that we are not insane or out of my
Insane in the
mind.
membrane. Fitty
Insane.
one fit. Fitty one fitty. Puff puff pass everybody. But we're working on it. We're working on a new combined kind of show title thing because we try to rotate and then we forget whose turn it is for the intro. So then it's just like we click one.
Right. And again, too, anybody can contribute some kind of something to that the Children of the Most High theme song.
We would
Very
love
much so appreciate it.
we would love any contribution any of you would like to make. You can even buy us a coffee. That was a good segue there, Shannon. That was almost as if you had tried. We're getting good at this. We're getting good at this.
There has never been a time that we have needed coffee more than at this moment in time. So if you would like to donate for our caffeinated beverage addiction, let's just be real. Please,
We
please help
struggling.
us.
We struggling, y'all.
Struggling with that.
We on the struggle bus over here. It has run both of us over. It
Mm.
Look at this now. We got Big E in here that can tune guitars. We got Snowball and Diana that can play drums.
Let's go.
Like we got our own band. We just need a garage. We got our own garage band.
I have a garage,
We don't
but
need garage.
everyone's far.
We have studios online now. We don't need
right.
garages. See, we can
I
all
got a
gather.
producer, guys.
Shannon's got a producer.
God.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for coming tonight. We hope to be back Thursday night, as long as nothing haywire happens in our life. But evidently, that's what we're built for, is haywire, because these are broad shoulders, and we were supposed to tote things. So stack it on, Jesus. We got this. Say a prayer.
Even emotional stuff. Wait, I could read this a little bit. David Beverly should do what? Oh no, I really can't
A
read it.
gear rundown video. I dig the sounds he does on the Strat.
I just want to give you a shout out, David Beverly Jr. You are honestly one of my favorite people, and I just love you and your
Kent plays
family,
it.
and I give you blessings. Huh?
Kent plays too. Like we got all kind of
Yay!
musicians in the audience. We should be
Let's
like, I don't play
go!
anything. I don't play anything except people's nerves.
I bet that could be remedied. There's all kinds of fun stuff. I could teach you how to do the zills or like some percussion instrument.
I can do maracas, tambourines, drums. I don't know that I'd be any good at drums. I used to love
Tambourines
rock
are
band.
good. Tambourines are great for us
My
singers who
most
can't
favorite
play
video game
instruments.
ever is Guitar Hero. Like me and my daughter, my ex-husband and my son, We had a whole setup. Everybody had a guitar, microphones. We had drums, a TV. We had a whole room set up, bandanas, the whole 9 yards. We would just get in there and rock out as a family when our kids were
That's good.
on rock band. Like I can go to Dave and Buster's and spend the whole night in front of the Guitar Hero machine.
Yeah, I usually do the singing.
Sue,
I can't do the
wait a minute.
button
See before
things.
she gets going. Sue,
What?
Sue, our new viewer, Sue. She's new. We come up in her feed and she jumped on us. We were fantastically, wonderfully happy that you came to see us tonight. We are normally on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Sometimes we're on the weekend, Sunday. Like I said, we're moms and grandmas and life and jobs and bills and the struggle. And then I
Yeah.
have a Daniel. Like Daniel be taking up a day here and a day there, schedules get whacked out. But anyway, I love my Daniel. I get to see my Daniel tomorrow and my Aunt Kim. Band lab and record drum and instrument tracks in the studio section. Then we could all converge together. See, we're gonna have to do this because that would be
Let's
so
go.
cool if we actually make this song and our viewers are a part of it. They're playing the instruments. Guys, I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's way better. Way
That that
better.
that is y'all. This could be so cool. This could be so cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go outside because I can't smoke the good stuff in here. Because I can't. Got kids. Got to put them in the bed soon. Input mics mainly mic. I have a mic and a PA. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. We're glad you come to join us, Sue. We have a community board over there for anybody that's new. We have a Discord. If anybody can post a link in there. We haven't been in Discord very much because all of us got crazy lives going on. But the community board's on each of our page. If you are subscribed to the Roxy Files, go over and subscribe to Children of the Most High and vice versa. Because if they take one down, we will have the other as a backup. So make sure you're subscribed to both. Also, go check out Logic Before Authority, The Supernatural Show, Jesus Freak Computer Geek, Super Day 44. Who else we got? Clayton
Wait,
Vicarious,
waking God's child.
Waking God's Child, Truth Co-op Diana. She has some amazing videos of the stars in the sky, and she does some amazing copper work. If you haven't checked out Diana, you should go check her out. Am I forgetting any of you guys' other pages that were normally? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, and if I am, I'm sorry. Mike, tell your wife, hey, I hope everything's well with you too. I hope your health is good. Yeah, everybody pick your instrument. We're gonna record tracks. I'm gonna get some sheet music to this stuff, and we're gonna figure out a beat to put it to. We're gonna make this work. Big E, we were so glad to see you tonight. We've been missing you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And you too, Snowball. You've been gone from a couple of shows. Yeah. If you Sue, welcome anytime. We got all kind of stuff in the past. If you want to go back and look at some of our old videos where we talk about telepathy and super kids and lots of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Discord link. Biggie, you got a Discord link handy, sweetheart? If not, I'll get it right quick. I don't know what you're doing. You might be busy. Biggie is my link man. He's usually somebody say something and Big E be popping in the comments with the link before I can even go get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually on it. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Where is this stupid link? I forget every time how you do this.
Well, let me just kind of, since we couldn't play the video, I'd like to sing this little scripture ditty for you all before we go. Just because it really, it's such a beautiful scripture, and I want it stuck in your head too. And again, Merger Garcia, she's amazing. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation could ever separate us from the love of God? The love, the love, love, the love of God. That is in salvation, our Lord. The love, the love, love, the love of God. That is, wait, uh, that is in Jesus Christ, something our Savior. See, then I mess it up because I don't have it in my ear. But there you go. She does it a lot better. She's got a guitar, but it's beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm working on it now, Biggie. I'm going to YouTube. I'll fix that. I'm sorry. I thought you were a mod on here. I need to go in and make some others mods, which we don't normally have anybody getting too sassy in chat, because if we do, I just stop the show and tell them off. Y'all know me.
It's usually hot.
As you can see from the shirt, mouth works faster than the brain. I try to put my warning labels out front. I bite. I kick. I have slapped and punched a time or two. But mainly right now it's like yelling and biting. I backed off the violence. Jesus said so. What would Jesus do? All right, guys. Good night. We're out of here. Make sure you're praying for your family, your friends, your loved ones, even your enemies.
That's it.
Pray for everybody. Pray for the world. Pray for yourself. And when you go to prayer, don't start with this mansy pansy. Please, Jesus, help me. No. I need you to get loud. I need you to tell him what's on your mind. Say it with your heart and say it with your soul. The louder you are, the more likely he is to hear you correctly. So yell it. Scream it. Get down on your knees and mean it. Get barefoot, touch some dirt. Get outside. We love you.